Welcome back to the channel Coins Master, coin lovers and treasure hunters. Today, you're in for an absolute treat. We're diving deep into a coin that looks ordinary to the untrained eye, but it could secretly be worth up to $76,000. That's right, we're talking about the 2013 Roosevelt dime, the coin that says "1 dime" on the back. "In God We Trust" on the front, and holds a story that's richer than you could ever imagine. So if you've ever looked at your pocket change and wondered if you might be holding a fortune, stick around, because this video might just change your life. Let's uncover the incredible history, the jaw-dropping value, and the little-known secrets behind the legendary 2013 Roosevelt dime. Scene 2. Zoom into coin with dramatic voiceover. Let's start with the basics. What exactly is this coin? It's a 2013 Roosevelt dime, struck at the Philadelphia Mint. That's what the little P mint mark under the date stands for. On the obverse, or the front of the coin, you'll see the profile of President Franklin D. Roosevelt, the man who guided America through the Great Depression and most of World War II. Beside him, the powerful motto, "In God We Trust," a phrase rooted deep in American identity. Turn the coin over, and you're greeted with a torch symbolizing liberty, flanked by an olive branch of peace and an oak branch for strength. And just beneath that powerful design? The words that every collector pays attention to. 1 dime. It looks like any regular coin you might use to pay a parking meter or grab a snack, but don't be fooled. Some rare 2013 Roosevelt dimes have sold for up to $76,000. Let's talk about why. Scene 3. The deep history of the Roosevelt dime. The Roosevelt dime has been part of American history since 1946. It was introduced shortly after President Roosevelt's death in 1945, as a tribute to his leadership, courage, and especially his work with the March of Dimes, a campaign that helped fund research to fight polio, the disease that Roosevelt himself battled. Replacing the winged Liberty Head dime, the Roosevelt dime was designed by John R. Sinek, the chief engraver of the United States Mint at the time. The design was meant to be simple, elegant, and respectful, a fitting tribute to one of the most influential leaders in U.S. history. Fast forward to 2013, the year this particular Roosevelt dime was minted. It was an ordinary year in many ways, but among the millions of coins produced at the Philadelphia Mint, something unusual happened. A few coins were struck under rare conditions, whether it be from die errors, misalignments, high strike quality, or unintentional minting quirks, and these are the coins that today command extreme interest in the coin collecting world. Scene 4. Why this coin is worth $76,000. Now, let's get to the good stuff, the value. Most 2013 Roosevelt dimes are worth, well, a dime. 10 cents. But under specific conditions, one of these coins could be worth thousands, and even tens of thousands. Collectors go crazy for coins with mint errors. These are coins that left the mint with a mistake, off-center strikes, double dies, missing layers, or planchet errors. A 2013 Roosevelt dime with a major error could easily fetch over $1,000 or more, depending on how dramatic it is. High-grade condition, a dime in MS68 or higher, meaning it's in pristine uncirculated condition with no visible marks even under magnification, is considered an elite rarity. These are the coins that can bring in the $76,000 price tag at auction. They're like the Lamborghinis of coin collecting, sleek, flawless, and highly desirable. Proof-like finish or satin sheen. If a 2013 Roosevelt dime has an unusually reflective surface, it may indicate an early strike from a new die, giving it a special proof-like appearance even though it wasn't part of an official proof set. That's another big value boost. Full torch (FT) or full bands (FBE) designation. This is one of the most sought-after grading designations for Roosevelt dimes. It means the lines on the torch are completely visible, sharp, and uninterrupted. That tiny detail can mean the difference between a $10 coin and a $10,000 plus coin. Now combine all of that. A 2013 Roosevelt dime in mint state 68 plus, with full torch struck on a rare planchet, with possible doubling, and you've got yourself a $76,000 treasure hiding in plain sight. Scene 5. coin in circulation, and where to find it now. Here's the wild part. This isn't a coin locked away in a museum. No, my friend, the 2013 P. Roosevelt dime was minted for general circulation, which means it was released into the wild. Into cash registers, coin rolls, change machines, parking meters, purses, pockets, and maybe even your piggy bank. Over 1.5 billion dimes were minted in Philadelphia that year. But here's the kicker: only a handful have been discovered with rare qualities. That means they're still out there. Yes, you could literally find a $76,000 coin in your spare change. Coin roll hunters, listen up, this is your moment. Grab those dime rolls from the bank, put on your magnifying glasses, and start searching. Look for sharp strikes, full torch detail, unique finishes, or mirror-like surfaces, doubling on letters or date, anything that looks just a little bit off, because that little difference, it could make all the difference. Scene 6. How to sell it if you find any. So let's say you do find a flawless 2013 P. Roosevelt dime. What's next? Step 1. Don't spend it. Put it in a soft cloth or a coin flip to protect it from scratches. Step 2. Get it graded. Submit it to a trusted grading service like PCGS or NGC. These guys are the gatekeepers, and a high-grade label from them instantly multiplies your coin's value. Step 3. Auction or sell. High-value coins should be listed at major auction houses, heritage auctions, Stack's Bowers, Great Collections, or on sites like eBay, if you're careful. Some collectors even approach known buyers directly. You'll want to include clear photos, proof of grading, and any special details. If your dime is as rare as you think, the bidding war will be intense. Scene 7. Final thoughts and call to action. It's truly mind-blowing to think that a small, silver-colored coin, something we barely notice anymore, could be hiding such massive value. The 2013 P. Roosevelt dime is living proof that treasure doesn't always come in the form of gold bars or pirate chests. Sometimes, it's sitting quietly in your pocket, waiting to be found. So the next time you get change at the gas station, look closely. You might be holding a piece of American history. You might be holding a hidden gem. You might be holding $76,000 in the palm of your hand. Don't let it slip through your fingers. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the 2013 P. Roosevelt dime and want more high-value coin discoveries, smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you don't miss the next episode. We've got dimes, quarters, nickels, and pennies that are worth thousands just waiting to be revealed. And hey, if you have a 2013 P dime, tell us about it in the comments. You never know, your coin might just be the next big find. Until next time, happy hunting, and keep checking your change, because treasure is everywhere. Coin hunters and treasure seekers. If you're holding pocket change right now, you might want to check it, because hiding in plain sight could be a coin worth an absolutely jaw-dropping $908,000. That's right, today, we're diving deep into the mysterious and incredible story of the 1996 P. Roosevelt dime, also known by collectors as the Liberty One dime coin. This is not just any dime. This little coin, often overlooked and casually dropped into vending machines and piggy banks, might just be one of the most valuable treasures in American coin history. In this episode, we're talking rarity, history, errors, secrets, and shocking auction sales. And yes, the number $908,000 is very real. So grab your magnifying glass, dust off your change jars, and stay locked in, because this story could literally change your life. Let's start with the origin. The Roosevelt dime was first introduced in 1946, the same year that President Franklin D. Roosevelt passed away. In honor of his leadership and his lifelong battle against polio, and in recognition of his founding of the March of Dimes, the U.S. Mint decided to immortalize Roosevelt's image on the 10-cent coin. The obverse features a left-facing portrait of FDR with the powerful motto, "In God We Trust," along with the mint year and the mint mark. On the reverse, you'll see the classic torch, olive branch, and oak branch, representing liberty, peace, and strength. The words, "United States of America," and "One dime," are engraved boldly, a strong declaration of this coin's patriotic roots. Now fast forward to 1996, when something unusual happened. The 1996 P. Roosevelt dime was struck at the Philadelphia Mint. It was the 50th anniversary of the Roosevelt dime's creation, and while millions of 1,996 dimes were produced, a special collector's edition was also minted with a W mint mark from West Point, distributed only in mint sets. But here's the twist: while the 1996 W is already a collector's item, the 1996 P. Roosevelt dime you might be holding could be worth more than all of them combined. Why is the 1996 P. Roosevelt dime so special? You might be thinking. Isn't this just another modern coin? Why would it be worth nearly $1 million? Here's the truth: rarity is only part of the story. The real value lies in mint errors, condition, and collector demand. Some 1996 P dimes were struck with unbelievable mint errors, double dies, off-center strikes, missing clad layers, and misaligned dies have all been discovered. But there's one particularly mysterious high-grade error coin that shook the numismatic world, a 1996 P. Roosevelt dime in pristine, ultra-gem condition with a rare minting anomaly. This coin was found by a lucky collector, verified by professional grading services, and later went on to sell at auction for a mind-blowing $908,000. That's right. A coin you'd usually use to buy a gumball ended up being worth more than a luxury home. But that's not all. Experts believe that there may be more out there. What should you look for in a 1996 P dime? There are a few key details that could indicate your dime is special. Mint mark location. Make sure it has the P mint mark, just above the date. Die errors. Check for doubling, especially on the lettering in God We Trust, Liberty, and the torch. Off-center strikes. A slight misalignment can increase value, but drastic errors skyrocket it. Full bands, coins with crisp, clean horizontal lines on the torch, known as full bands, are much more desirable to collectors. Condition: a coin graded MS68 or higher by PCGS or NGC can reach astronomical values. Lustrous finish. Brilliant, untouched surfaces can indicate the coin came straight from a mint set or uncirculated roll. Imagine having one of these in your collection. One coin. One dime. Life-changing money. Let's talk numbers. Because they don't lie. The average 1996 P. Roosevelt dime in circulated condition is only worth face value. But even those in lightly circulated condition can fetch $1 to $5 if they show strong detail and luster. However, when we get into MS65 plus condition, the values start climbing fast. MS65 examples can sell $4.30, $60. MS67 examples can reach $200, $400. MS68 plus full band specimens over $1, $500, $5,000. But if you're lucky enough to find a MS69 full band's 1996 P dime with a recognized error, you could be staring at a $908,000 payday, or even more, as private collectors are willing to pay outrageous amounts for the right piece. And here's the crazy part: these coins are still out there. Some of them are sitting in change drawers, coin jars, or forgotten coffee tins across the country, just waiting to be discovered. So what's the real story behind the $908,000 Roosevelt dime? This dime represents more than just money. It's a story of overlooked history, of everyday objects holding unimaginable worth. It's about the thrill of the hunt and the chance to find something extraordinary in the most ordinary of places. Coin collectors around the world know that the real treasures aren't buried, they're in circulation. And this dime proves it. In recent years, the coin collecting market has exploded. With TikTok, YouTube, and social media platforms filled with collectors showing off finds worth thousands, even millions, of dollars, demand is surging. Rarity, condition, errors, and historical significance are driving prices to record highs, and coins like the 1996 P. Roosevelt dime are becoming the ultimate prize. Before we wrap up, let me give you a pro tip. If you want to find one of these, don't just go through your loose change. Go to local banks and ask for coin rolls, especially dime rolls from older branches. You'd be amazed at how often rare coins slip into rolls unnoticed. Invest in a good magnifying glass or loupe, and if you find a promising coin, submit it to PCGS or NGC for grading. Even a small investment could turn your dime into a 5 or 6-figure profit. And remember, the 1996 P. Roosevelt dime isn't just a piece of metal. It's a tiny time capsule. A coin struck in celebration of 50 years of Roosevelt's legacy. A coin that holds history, art, and in some rare cases, a fortune. Final thoughts: so the next time you're about to spend a dime, take a closer look. Because if that tiny silver piece has a P mint mark and a little shimmer of magic, you could be holding one of the most valuable modern dimes ever minted. The 1996 P. Liberty One dime Roosevelt dime is more than just change, it's a treasure in your pocket. And who knows, maybe you are the next lucky person to discover the $908,000 dime. If you enjoyed this video, smash that like button. Subscribe for more rare coin stories, and ring the bell so you never miss a chance to discover your own hidden fortune. Drop a comment below if you've ever found a rare coin, or if you're going to check your change after this video. Another mind-blowing episode of Treasure Hunt Coins, where we dig deep into the fascinating world of rare coins, hidden treasures, and jaw-dropping values that might just be sitting in your pocket change. If you're watching this video, get ready to be absolutely stunned, because today, we're diving headfirst into one of the most unbelievable stories in coin collecting history, the story of the 1995 P. Roosevelt dime. A coin that looks ordinary, but in the right condition and with the right features, it could be worth a staggering $473,000 today. Yes, you heard that right. Nearly $500,000. Not for a gold coin, not for a coin from ancient Rome, but for a United States Roosevelt dime minted in 1995 in Philadelphia. This is a coin that many people have passed through their hands without a second thought. It's time we change that. So, buckle up, hit that like button, subscribe if you love treasure stories like this, and let's jump into the full story behind the Liberty One dime from 1995 with the iconic words, "In God We Trust." The legacy of the Roosevelt dime. Before we get into the specific details of the 1995 P, let's take a journey back to understand the legacy behind the Roosevelt dime. The Roosevelt dime was first introduced in 1946, the year after President Franklin D. Roosevelt passed away. FDR wasn't just a president, he was a symbol of strength during the Great Depression and World War II. But did you know he also played a crucial role in the fight against polio? In fact, the March of Dimes campaign that raised money for polio research was named in his honor. To pay tribute to Roosevelt's legacy, the U.S. Mint replaced the Mercury dime with his portrait, placing his profile on the obverse, or front, of the new 10-cent coin. Since then, the Roosevelt dime has remained in circulation, unchanged in its basic design, but filled with hidden rarities and valuable surprises, like the coin we're discussing today. The 1995 P. Roosevelt dime. Why is it so special? Let's zoom in on the 1995 P. Roosevelt dime. On the surface, it looks just like every other dime minted that year. It features Roosevelt's profile, the words, "Liberty" and "In God We Trust," and the mint mark, P, indicating it was struck at the Philadelphia Mint. The reverse shows the classic torch flanked by olive and oak branches with the inscription, "United States of America, e pluribus unum," and "1 dime." But here's the kicker. Out of the hundreds of millions of these dimes produced, a tiny fraction possess unique characteristics, flaws, varieties, and pristine conditions that transform them from mere coins into collectible treasures. The mysterious high-value 1995 P. Varins. Now, what exactly makes certain 1995 P. Roosevelt dimes worth hundreds of thousands of dollars? Experts and collectors point to a few key factors. Minting errors. Some of the most valuable dimes have mint errors such as off-center strikes, double dies, broad strikes, or missing elements. A rare double die on the obverse, where the letters "In Liberty" or "In God We Trust" appear slightly doubled, can fetch an eye-popping price. Condition: MS 67 and higher. Coins that are uncirculated and have been preserved in near-perfect condition are graded by third-party organizations like PCGS and NGC. A 1995 P. Roosevelt dime graded MS 68 or above is extremely rare, and when found, they can easily command tens of thousands to hundreds of thousands of dollars at auction. Full bands FB designation. On the reverse, the torch has bands. When these bands are fully struck and show complete detail, the coin gets a full bands designation, which dramatically increases its value, rarity, and demand. Because only a few coins meet all the above conditions, collectors go crazy over the few that exist. Supply is low. Demand is high. The result? Sky-high prices, like the reported $473,000 for a pristine, era-laden 1995 P. Roosevelt dime sold in a private auction. The historical journey and numismatic value. Let's go deeper into the history. In 1995, the U.S. Mint was producing coins at massive volumes, with the Philadelphia Mint alone striking over 1.1 billion Roosevelt dimes. With such a high mintage, most coins were treated as everyday currency. People spent them, dropped them in vending machines, lost them in couch cushions. Basically, they were never meant to be saved. But as we've seen in history, the most valuable coins often start as the most ordinary. It wasn't until years later that collectors began to identify unusual characteristics in some of these dimes. Double die obverse, off-center strikes, and perfectly preserved mint-state examples started showing up, and the hunt was on. Over the years, coin grading services authenticated a few exceptionally rare 1995 P dimes, some with mint errors and some graded MS-68 with full bands. These coins didn't just perform well in auctions, they made headlines. One such coin, discovered in a forgotten coin jar, was appraised and later sold for a jaw-dropping $473,000, making it one of the most valuable Roosevelt dimes in existence. How to spot a valuable 1995 P. Roosevelt dime now? You're probably wondering, do you have one of these gems sitting in a jar at home? Let's talk about what to look for. Mint mark. Check that it's a P under Roosevelt's neck, indicating Philadelphia. Check for errors. Use a magnifying glass. Look closely at the text, especially Liberty and In God We Trust. For any doubling condition, if your coin looks shiny, crisp, and barely circulated, it could be in mint state. Handle it carefully. By the edges only, reverse details. Look for sharp detail on the torch bands. Full bands can make all the difference. Professional grading. If you think you've got something special, send it to PCGS or NGC. Their official grading will determine if your coin is a high-value candidate. Modern value and current market trends. As of this year, 2025, the market for Roosevelt dimes is hot. With more collectors entering the hobby and rare coins gaining attention from investors, the value of the top-tier 1995 P. Roosevelt dimes has skyrocketed. While average 1995 P dimes in circulated condition are only worth face value, those in mint state condition can range from $20 to $500. But the Holy Grail, MS-68 with full bands or featuring a dramatic mint error, can reach hundreds of thousands of dollars. As we mentioned, the record sits at $473,000, and experts believe that could be surpassed in future auctions. Why this coin matters. Why what makes the story of the 1995 P. Roosevelt dime so special isn't just its incredible value. It's the reminder that history, art, and mystery can all exist in the smallest, most unexpected places. This is a coin you could easily overlook, but in the right hands, it could change your life forever. Coins like these prove that treasure isn't just buried deep underground. It might be in your pocket, your piggy bank, or your junk drawer. So next time you're handed change, take a second look. That shiny little dime could be worth more than your car, your house, or even your retirement savings. Conclusion. If you made it this far, you're a true coin enthusiast or maybe just a curious dreamer, and either way, you're in the right place. The 1995 P. Roosevelt dime is more than just a piece of currency. It's a symbol of opportunity, hidden value, and the thrill of discovery. It's proof that sometimes, the ordinary holds extraordinary potential. So what are you waiting for? Start checking your dimes. Get out your magnifying glass. And who knows, you just might be holding a $473,000 treasure in your hand. Don't forget to smash that like button, subscribe to Treasure Hunt Coins, and hit the notification bell so you never miss another episode. Share this video with your friends and family, because the next coin story we tell might just be the one that makes you a millionaire. Ladies and gentlemen, coin collectors, treasure hunters, and curious minds across the world, what if I told you that a single dime, yes, that tiny 10-cent coin in your change jar, could be worth a mind-blowing $566,000? Sounds crazy, right? Well, buckle up, because today we're diving deep into the story of the 1994 Roosevelt dime. A coin that's turning heads in the numismatic world and setting the internet on fire. This isn't just a coin, it's a piece of American history, a silent giant in your spare change, and possibly the biggest financial surprise hiding in plain sight. So make sure you watch this video until the end, because we're uncovering the rich history, hidden errors, unbelievable auction prices, and how you could be holding on to a fortune without even knowing it. Let's go. Part 1. The birth of the Roosevelt dime. To truly understand the value of the 1994 Roosevelt dime, we need to travel back in time to when the Roosevelt dime series began. It all started in 1946, just a year after the passing of President Franklin D. Roosevelt. The nation wanted to honor him not just for leading America through the Great Depression and World War II, but also for his battle with polio and his efforts to combat the disease through the March of Dimes. And so, in 1946, the U.S. Mint replaced the Mercury dime with the Roosevelt dime, a symbol of strength, courage, and American resilience. Designed by John R. Sinek. The coin featured a simple yet powerful design. On the obverse, you'll find the left-facing portrait of President Roosevelt with the inscriptions, "Liberty," "In God We Trust," and the mint year. The reverse carries a torch flanked by olive and oak branches, symbolizing liberty, peace, and victory. At the bottom, it reads, "One dime," such a small phrase, yet today, that very coin could change your life. Part 2. What makes the 1994 dime special? Now, fast forward to 1994, a seemingly ordinary year. The world was caught up with the rise of the internet, blockbuster movies like Forrest Gump, and the launch of PlayStation. But quietly, at the Philadelphia Mint, a batch of Roosevelt dimes was being struck, and one of them would become a legend. The 1994 Roosevelt dime was struck in huge numbers, over 1.3 billion coins. That's right, it was meant to be just another dime in circulation. But here's the kicker: among those billions, a few rare errors, die varieties, and extraordinary condition coins slipped through. Coins that weren't supposed to exist. Coins that would send collectors into a frenzy. One specific specimen of the 1994 Roosevelt dime, found in pristine, uncirculated condition, with possible mint errors or unique die characteristics, has been appraised and valued at a jaw-dropping $566,000 on the rare coin market. That's more than $500,000 for a 10-cent coin. Part 3. The secret behind the value. You might be wondering, how does a dime become worth that much? Here are the top reasons. 1. Condition. Most coins are handled, spent, scratched, and worn down. But if you have a mint state, MS68 or higher, 1994 Roosevelt dime, especially one with a full torch or full bands detail, you're sitting on gold. 2. Errors and varieties. Coins with double dies, off-center strikes, missing clad layers, or die cracks are highly sought after. Some of these can multiply a coin's value by thousands. 3. Low population in high grade. Even though billions were made, only a handful exist in perfect condition. When supply is that low, and demand from collectors is high, the price can explode. 4. Historical significance and buzz. As news of rare finds spreads, collectors and investors rush to grab these coins, driving prices even higher. The 1994 dime has recently caught fire in online auctions and private collector markets, with some insane asking prices. Part 4. True stories of dime discoveries. You may think it's impossible, but real people have discovered rare Roosevelt dimes in everyday places. In 2023, a Florida man found a nearly perfect 1994 dime in a coin roll he bought from his local bank. He had it graded, and when it came back MS68 with full bands, he was offered over $300,000 by a private collector. Another coin, discovered at a flea market, turned out to have a struck-through error, meaning some foreign object was pressed into the coin at the mint. That dime sold for nearly $87,000. These aren't myths. These are facts. And this is why you should check every single coin in your pocket change. Part 5. Current market value and where to sell now. Let's talk numbers. The average circulated 1994 P. Roosevelt dime is worth around its face value, 10 cents. But once you find one in mint state 65 or higher, the value jumps dramatically. Here's a breakdown. MS 65, graded $10, $25 MS 67, $200, $500 MS 68, $1, $500, $4,000 MS 68 full bands, $10,000 and above ultra-rare mint error examples, up to $566. 000. You can get your coin graded by professional services like PCGS or NGC, and then auction it through high-end platforms like Heritage Auctions, Great Collections, or eBay for rare coins. Collectors all over the world are hunting for the rarest Roosevelt dimes, and if yours checks all the boxes, it could be the next headline grabbing. Sale. Part 6. How to find one and what to look for. If you're now itching to start searching, here's what to do. Search your pocket change, coin jars, old piggy banks. Look through bank coin rolls, especially customer wrapped dimes. Use a magnifying glass or jeweler's loupe and look for strong details in the torch, full bands, any errors or oddities in the strike the PE mint mark just above the date handle with gloves. Avoid damage. If you think you found something, submit it to a grading service. ASAP. Part 7. The future value of this coin. As interest in coin collecting surges across the globe, the value of rare dimes like the 1994 P. Roosevelt is expected to rise even further. Crypto may go up and down. Stocks may swing wildly. But historical coins? They only get rarer and more valuable with time. A coin like this is more than currency. It's an investment, a time capsule, a story of American history frozen in silver and copper. And it could be in your hands right now. OUTRO. Call TOACTION. So, what are you waiting for? Go check your wallets, your jars, your old drawers. You might just be holding a $566,000 dime. Smash that like button if you learned something new today, subscribe for more incredible coin discoveries, and comment below if you think you have a rare dime. I read every comment, and who knows, maybe your story will be featured in the next video. Until then, stay curious, stay hunting, and always remember, treasure is often hiding in plain sight.